Right, good day people, thank you for joining me again today. Sorry it's been so long, fucking tons of shit going on. A lot of work shit, a lot of health shit. I'm doing all good though, health wise, now that I've got myself all fixed up. On top of that, I've been what you could call addicted to Black Ops 3 for the past few weeks, so it has been hard for me to switch off from that, I must be honest. But anyway, today we're going to kick off the video with a first shout out, and this one goes to Music Video, and I'm actually quite impressed with what he sent me. I really didn't see this myself, even when I did do my research for the Grand Theft Auto show. So hats off to Danny for this one. So as you can see on the screen, we have the Coquette Blackfin. And the description states, America, in the 1950s, it's easy to spot the moment when Freudian psychosexual theory met car design, and what a glorious pairing it was. This coquette couldn't be more phallic. If it was dragging a pair of hairy beach balls, it even smells like cigar smoke, conservative values, and semen. Get out your checkbook, because this golden age of repression won't resurrect itself. So overall, very interesting. For now, other than the connection to Freud, yet another connection to Freud, I'm going to leave it at that, because we're going to quickly jump over to what I was talking about in my last video, which was the graffiti and the artist and my emails with him. So we're going to jump to that, and for good reason, because we're going to come back to another shout out afterwards, which is going to take us straight back to Freud. But I wanted to kick it off with this little addition that Danny sent me. But anyway, as I was saying, we're going to go back to what the last video was about, and that was this graffiti. Now, I'm sure you've all seen it, so I'm just going to jump into the reply that the guy gave me, or elements of it at least. So the first thing that I asked him was, is there any meaning behind the red, gold and green on the one guy's shirt? And he said, yes, it was inspired by Steel Pulse's Worth His Weight in Gold lyrics breaking down the Rastafarian flag, which is interesting, and we've brought it up before. Those of you who've seen my very first videos know that I mentioned this. Red for the blood, green for the land, Africa, yellow for the gold that they stole, and if you would add the final colour, which would be black, for the people that it was looted from. So those were that was the source of inspiration that he had anyway, to put those red, gold and green colours on the guy's shirt. Now he is aware of the Karma Chameleon reference, because I made him aware of that, and he thought that was pretty dope, and he wished he'd have thought of that for his inspiration, and then that's what led him to explain to me that it was indeed the Rastafarian flag. Moving on the other character, we have an X on the hand. Now it represents the hardcore subculture that inspired him to do graffiti in the first place. So in a sense, that's interesting to me. I was hoping maybe there might be more of a link towards an X marks the spot kind of deal, but you know, you can't always get what you want. Nonetheless, this one was a little bit more intriguing to me. The northeast pointing arrow is a logo for his graffiti crew. So the logo represents his crew seeking heaven, which is an interesting thing to me, because that made me think of the Stairway to Heaven, etc., such as in Capolavoro, the movie sign with the stairway going to nowhere. And again, I said we were going to be doing another little shout out and coming back to that very soon, and we are, and this also relates. But anyway, he went on to say that a few years ago, basically, a friend of his had contacted him asking him if he'd like his work to feature in a secret video game. He said, yeah, that'd be pretty dope. Initially, he thought it was going to be for a Tony Hawk's video game, because his friend had worked with Tony Hawk's video games before. Few years passed, and suddenly he's getting messages the day Grand Theft Auto was released saying that his artwork was in the game. He never saw a cent for his work being in GTA. And on top of that, he didn't even get featured in the credits, because I actually sat down through the whole 45 minutes worth of credits and analysed that shit just to see if they didn't sneak in like at least a little shout out for having used his work. They didn't. Here's the thing, they sought him out via a friend. Like, they took measures to check if they could use the shit, and then in backlash they didn't give him any respect for it. He explained that these images had appeared all over the world, notably Sunset Boulevard on the mural that you're going to see in just a minute, and also Echo Park. But the point being here is because the images were displayed so publicly, it would be very hard for him to retrieve any form of compensation. Because basically his images have appeared in a ton of music videos, they've been put on bootleg for t-shirts, all sorts of shit over the years. So because the images are so public, I don't think Rockstar is in any obligation to actually give him recognition. I just think they should have done it. But they didn't. So the point as well here today is that he sent me a ton of links for a load of different images for his art, his background, his inspiration, the stuff that he believes in, the Zapatista movements, etc. So it'd be kind of cool if you guys could go and check that stuff out. I believe that, you know, he'd be at least grateful that we took the time to watch it, or we took the time to understand where this imagery came from. Because the most interesting thing at the end of the day is, out of all the graffiti in GTA, there's only one that I found that was a copy and paste from real life, and it is this one. So, you know, the dude has got a lot to be proud of for that. But again, I still think it's wrong he didn't receive proper credit. So hopefully we can compensate just a little bit and get, you know, some new viewers to see his art. So I'll be putting all those links in the description for you guys to check out. But anyway, this brings me to my second shout out here, and it's my buddy DeltaNine, and I've mentioned him before, so's Danny for a couple different things. But today we're going to focus firstly on this, which is a little page that he sent me, and I'm just going to read you a paragraph. Now, this is a guy called Cash. Now, Cash is an artist who worked with EYEONE on the Zapatista mural. The Zapatistas are, however, EYEONE's initial design, but Cash, you're going to find, has a little bit of a different style, but the background is just as interesting. It says, after many years of experimenting with tagging and bombs, this self-taught artist began exploring new ideas. Wishing to share his true passion with the community, he considered the essential to incorporate the use of bicycles and favourite book reads. Inspired by such writers as Carlos Castaneda, who describes humans as being trapped in human chicken coops, Cash saw how society has been constantly manipulated by corporate logos. As a result, he sought a logo of his own to combat the effects of uniformity and a censored and diluted media assault on the human psyche. Hence, the chickens came to life. Now, I don't know if you caught that, but the whole brainwashing by corporate logos, etc., is the foundation of all the conspiracies behind, you know, the all-seeing eye, the Illuminati, and all that shit falls into logos and brainwashing and the idea of the chicken coop. And the chickens, you can see them on the screen now. I'm just going to show a couple different images so you guys can get a good idea. But just the chicken on the egg, sorry, on the bicycle in this one, and the cultural aspects of, you know, like the Jew with the Arab, here the chickens protesting against war, all these ideas that they portray in their artwork, in these graffiti murals, is eerily reminiscent of the clues that we've been bringing to the table. For example, me and Wispy. When we show you all the aspects of an egg, chicken, cock, rooster, dick, whatever way you want to look at it, the inspiration had to come from somewhere, and I believe the reason this mural was copied and pasted into the game has a lot to do with this background, the symbolism and the ideas behind it, breaking from the chicken coop, breaking from the control, breaking away from the all-seeing eye, which is an aspect we get a lot of in GTA 5, whether you take it from Ron, who's constantly going on about lizard people, or if you look at Lester, who's constantly telling you we're being watched. These conspiracies are alive in the game. It's up to us to kind of detach from the rabbit hole and not get caught up in it all and understand why they're referencing it in the first place. So here we have the chickens protesting against no war. In game we have a lot of references towards this, in the sense that, I don't know if you've seen, there's one graffiti in the dams that says war sure is fun, with a spelling mistake as well, which I brought up way back. But I don't want to get too caught up on this for now. I just wanted to show you that, for me at least, the graffiti that they chose and the artist that they chose to represent in GTA 5 in this case was not by accident. I believe it does fit in quite nicely to all the symbolism. I have to call it symbolism in a sense, but it doesn't really please me to call it that. But anyway, as I said, that's enough of that for now. We're going to go back to DeltaNine and something even more fucking interesting that he sent me information about quite a while ago, and it's taken me a while to bring it up. Now, here you can see I'm with Trevor, and we're at the Capital of Oro sign, and there was nothing on there. No dinosaur, no alien, or whatever the fuck's going on. I'm at 45 missions in, and I just wanted to show you that you can't see this image on the billboard right here, right up until the mission, Bury the Hatchet. Now, shout out to DeltaNine for finding this for me. Like, he did it a while ago, and I've been meaning to bring it to you guys. It's pretty fucking insane, to be honest. I don't quite get it, but as I said, once you do, I think I'm going to check it here. Yes, it's coming up on the screen, so I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, surveying the score. Basically, during the mission, surveying the score is the mission that's going to unlock Bury the Hatchet. So once Bury the Hatchet is unlocked, the billboard changes. So we've been talking a lot about Capital of Oro, etc., all sorts of things along those lines, and this is one thing that DeltaNine brought up to me that I'd never fucking noticed. And to be quite honest with you, I only have one question, and that is,
why? Why?
because this shit really don't make no sense at all to me. Like, I just can't quite put my finger on it. I do, however, have a couple of ideas or theories. Now, up till now, this video probably seems a little bit scatty and it doesn't make too much sense, but maybe if I put this little theory down in place, it might, you know, show you the light a little bit on what I'm seeing. Okay, so in the sense that Freud, that's what we started the video off on, another little reference towards Freud from Danny, and we have a lot of them now. If there's so much pointing towards Freud and his ideals, psychosexual theories, for example, all of his work, or if not all, most of his work was based on analysing and studying dreams, and he really did believe with a passion that dreams held the answers to the human psyche in general. Now, this is not just my theory. People have thought of this before, but the way I'm thinking about it is a little bit different. But there is a strong possibility that somewhere along the line in this story, maybe certain sections, certain portions, our friend Michael might be completely dreaming. Full-blown daydream. It might be the whole story, it might just be portions. Now, why do I say this? Well, if we take my research on Lost, one of the major theories on Lost is they're all dead. They're in purgatory. They are just reliving a hell based upon the shitty lives that they led beforehand. So we have the hatch, possible reference towards a dream world or a purgatory. Maybe Michael is trapped in his own mind. And why do I bring this up with the whole Capital of Oro thing? Well, because if you remember, Capital of Oro does mention Freud also. He's mentioned by one of the, I believe it was the Anima that mentioned it, and that was a whole idea exposed by JackTreehorn, and I'll be linking his video for you as well, so you can get up to date on that if you haven't already seen it. But yeah, more to the point, it was in the sense that Capital of Oro, the sign changes before Bury the Hatchet. That's when Trevor and Michael take a trip back to North Yankton to settle their differences and figure out what happened to Brad, or Trevor figures out what happened to Brad. The whole thing is quite wavy at the minute, but there is a strong possibility that there are sections in this game where Michael is dreaming. Physically, does that answer anything for us? No. Can that open the door for us to find physical manipulations in the game? Yes, of course. Like, if we understand the meaning behind the story, the real meaning, we can then get to work on testing things out properly and see where they may lead. But I'm not going to go into too much detail on this all today. As I said in the beginning, I'm overwhelmed with work. I have had quite a few health issues recently, so it's been a bit of a struggle to upload. But don't worry, I'm still around. I'm going to be coming back within the week, I hope. Like if not next weekend, it will be during this week. But before I go, one thing I do want to share with you guys, and this is kind of a thank you to DeltaNine for helping me find the fact that this Billboard doesn't change up until this mission, and that is that he has a few very interesting Reddit posts that he put together a while back, and I know he's been eager to get more opinions on those and get more people to see those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to include those two Reddit posts that he would like to get seen in the description of this video. Also, any of you guys who would like to, you know, bring up the topics that he was talking about, I'm not going to spoil anything other. I'm just going to tell you it relates to the observatory, Uranus, lunar cycles, and all those sorts of good things that you're going to enjoy are unfortunately in archived Reddit files, which basically means you can no longer comment on them. So if you have any questions you want to discuss either one of his posts, you can feel free to use my comment section on this video. I'm sure he'll be lurking around to answer you. I'll be able to answer you. We can get involved. So anyway, guys, until next time, I'm afraid I'm going to have to say see ya on this one. I'm sorry it's not much. I do have a lot to bring you, just life's busy at the moment. So until I can sort that shit out, take it easy and see ya.